My goal in life is to help as many producers as I can make the music they envision by providing top-notch sounds and also hopefully top-notch ideas for you guys to get inspired by. Now, if I were to say, what is Papi Trance Volume 2 all about? It will be 140 to 150 BPM dance music. This pack will give you a bunch of fast-paced stuff so you can make stuff like this. Give me a fast cool build-ups like this. The vocal's not included, by the way. It's sampled from a track. The Craze the Party. Techie stuff. Basses have been created in multiple formats. For example, this particular patch, you're going to sustain out a MIDI note. So you can get something like this. Inspired by a lot of your favorite artists that have made songs that have just garnered a bunch of streams. So a lot of these sounds are proven to work. So this party all night long. Also be like Sarah Laundry. Texture. And of course, there's other sounds like effects, leads, and plucks. I love the mods, bruh. I like this one. Let's add a pitch. My goal with these sounds is always to make them as inspiring as possible. So I'm always looking for inspiration from big artists like Marlon Hoffstadt, Malugi, Calvin Harris, Tiesto, Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike, some Hannah Laing stuff, Blessed, DJ Heartstring. I mean, I kind of lost track on who I referenced for this pack. I really like what some of the younger producers are doing with like these rave stab kind of sounds. Now, a thing I hugely recommend for you guys to try with some of these sounds is to hold down the C. And then you're going to click at the top left of Serum here. Now, the reason we want to do this is because a lot of these producers, what they're doing is utilizing synth one-shots, which you can find on websites like Splice and sample packs. But the thing is, you get a different response from the lead. When you have Serum, you obviously have like the source of the synth sound. But when you put it into a sampler after you have sampled it, it just reacts a lot differently. It's not the same vibe. For example, when you hit it, it's very staccato-ish, which is something that you hear a lot in these kind of tracks. Check this out. And then we can add this Martin Garrix effect. And then this Sonderling effect, which I really liked. just like the sound of that. I love that sound. Calvin Harris. I just don't know how to play the melody, man. But there's a demo on the website if you guys want to check out how this one sounds with the original melody from the Calvin Harris track. It's a beautiful sound. This one is inspired obviously by Avicii, but it's inspired by an artist called Max, who, again, when I'm going through making these sounds, I will hear a lot of the songs on Spotify's editorial playlist and some of the ones that are recommended from artists with a good amount of plays so that I ensure that you guys are getting dope sounds. And then we can progress it with that lead. There's also going to be some of these. I feel like that could be the intro of a song, just through oh yeah. I feel like if you add like a good reverb after this, it's gonna sound nice. It's like this. It's party. Hypersaw. With this recreation, I know it's been done by other people, but one of the always gripes I have is that people usually remake the sounds, but make them sound thin as hell. And no offense in a sense, but if I'm going to remake it, I was like, I'm just going to add that extra dirt. Times, but we have a Daddy Trance lead. This pack is based on Marlon Hoffstadt, by the way. I fall in love with his track, you know, It's That Time, and also some of the other ones he has, to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a pack in this style. Little did I know it would open up the doors and help me make a lot of various different sounds. Even Vinay is making stuff like this, who's an old Big Room producer, or Melbourne Bounce as well. Now, for some of these, if they're not monoed, you can use them as chords. But if you want to mono it, legato, and add your portamento, I recommend it sometimes, because if you're gonna play just one note, you can do cool stuff like. Organ-based sound being ran through just the Serum engine in order to process it and make it sound fat as. Because it doesn't sound like this coming out of the Korg M1. So again, a little bit of processing there for you guys if you want to do something with it. I did cheat a bit if you think about it, but it sounds great. You know, like again, the processing does a lot. Favorite super saw that I've ever made. Again, I know a lot of these sounds are sometimes repeats from other packs I've made like 10 years ago, but you know, every single time I'm improving, and I always make these sounds again, but I improve on them. So for instance, one of the gripiest things with Serum is that the saws don't sound the greatest. So I decided to get someone to send me like a JP saw that I sampled into a wavetable, which you can see here. It's a little more rounder, so that just means a lot more warmer. From there, we reduce a bit of the highs. I mean, I think that is the key to making a super saw that sounds nice. But as you can see, this just sounds very warm. It doesn't have that nasty high end to it. Again, through the EQ as well. We do it through there. It's one of my favorite supercells I've made. It doesn't sound that bad. And with the velocity, you can also add that 90s movement. My attempt at making rave stabs inside of Serum. They're a little harder to execute, but if you already know the theory, a lot of the rave stabs people use or you see on Splice come from people sampling them from other songs from maybe back in the day, or from records that might be rock or Christian based, and then that's how they get those shots. But again, sometimes I like to challenge myself to try and remake something of sorts. You guys, if you watch my videos on this channel, you already know this sound. Drop synth. I made this, and now that I hear this, it reminds me of a song. I don't know which one it is. Maybe you guys can remind me, but it's something like I've heard this before with like a monologue in a movie. But pretty much, you know, I'm a connoisseur of synths. I'm a sound designer, right? So I've bought some synths like Spire, and I really like what sound designers do in Spire with the ARP section. A lot of them just have these +7, you know, programmings where you just play a sound. So this one has it, and it allows me to make ARPs in Spire that will work no matter the key you're in. The problem with Spire is that once you start changing key with the ARP, right, like it can get out of key really fast. So I wanted to make an ARP that you can just play. You know, and it works. You know, like you can move it around instead of just having an ARP that's very static that you have to play the root note for. There's this artist, I forget his name, but he has a song with something like this. But it's a fat seventh. Yep. My T98 version, I know it's not going to be exact, but sample it out and just do that as well. I made one for Paradox 4, so I wanted to make one again for this pack. The one from Paradox 4 or 5, I think, got used by Space 92 for one of his big songs. I think it's Apollo, but check it out. It's insane. And again, it's so cool to me because I want to make these sounds for you guys to use. Maybe big producer or small. My whole thing here, right? Because, you know, obviously, you know, I have to eat, but other than that, I don't want to make it just about that because then it's kind of black and white and it's just not passionate enough, right? But my passion is just making sounds that people can get inspired off. You know, it's crazy to me to think that someone can hear this and go, and someone else might hear this and go, and they're like, in their head, they get a different idea out of it. It's insane. Hannah Laing, baby. Tell me. This one's inspired by Malugi and an Interplanetary Criminal track. Essentially, they use the sound on the offbeat bass. Try my best to remake it again. It probably TikTok leads. I really like these ones. For a long time ago, I made a pack, Festival Revolution Volume 2, and it's essentially had a sound bank which was all vocal based, and I decided to do it again for this one. So we have 2 of those. There's some old school synths out there that also sampled like vocal shots and choirs. Laing Beatport set, and there was this song that people went crazy to. But these kind of sounds, I think they're sampled because they sound different when you play them, but For this one, what makes it interesting for me is that I had to use the wavetable editor in order to get this vibe out of it, playing around with the bends here, which add essentially harmonics to the sound. Start off with a sine and just start adding them to get the tone. And then from there, you know, you get cool stuff. Pretty top notch. They sound great. Trancey, and then you hear the vocal in there. Yeah, this is probably my favorite one. I spent a lot of time trying to make this sound like a JP 8000, which is the iconic Eurodance synth from the 2000s. I want to buy one just to say I have one and also maybe use it for some of the samples, but again, you know, times are tough, my friends. Can add this nice sparkle on top. I'm vibing, man. Get it. Can thin it out. Okay, and then don't put the hyper mod. This one's dope too. A while back I learned how to make these kind of sounds, but I never really put them in packs because a lot of the genres that I'm working in don't really require them, but for this one it felt right. And what creates that very haunting pitch bend sound, right, we get rid of that, is pretty much there's this modulation that occurs on the fine here and also on the chords. So the sound comes from and it has a pitch bend, and that's what creates the haunting background. Now pads, obviously saws are king, but I have a bunch of wavetables that I've acquired over the years, and there's this one that has all these spectral ones, but spectral just sounds like very resonant, very FM-y. Right, so essentially you have two LFOs that are kind of going to be slightly off each other. This one's like that, and this one is like this, almost the inverse. So as this one's coming up, this one's quiet and then coming in, so it creates this cool bi-tremolo effect. And you can also, as you see here in the pan of the filter, do it there as well. And it creates this really nice circular effect. I don't know if it's going to work in music. Maybe you guys can give it a shot, but I really wanted to add it, and I'm probably going to have that on my sleeve for my sound design work as well. And if you guys want to test it out, try it out. It's pretty fun to do. From there, we have the Plucks. And a few piano sounds. And then we can also add this nice mod for Atmo and the ARP layer. I don't know if you guys can hear it. And then make it sound unnatural. But beautiful. But I honestly feel like not a lot of people use them. Maybe they're scared or maybe they're just too busy. Now for the sample pack, I made it so that you can individual stuff like drums. There's top loops, percussion loops, clap loops, open hat loops, effects, drum fills, etc. And then there's a bunch of ideas in the synth loops, bass loops, and chord loops. They're not meant to go together in any way or format like some people do with their song starters, but they're meant more for you to go through them in case you want to start a song idea. And maybe that could be the thing that spices it up, okay?
Feel the pressure, lose control, take me higher.
Let the beat go on, let the beat go on.
That's just me with my voice form and shifted.
Let the beat go on.
0 to the speed of light.
That's me too.
Hear my pulse, take me higher than ever before.
Wired in.
Hold up, wait, what? Where's the groove at?
I use this for the demo. I did like a hard groove section of the demo, so you guys can check it out there.
Beats like it's 1995. Let's rock. Don't stop.
Rock the party.
I just need somebody to rock with me, to rock with the
bass,
to rock to the beat.
This one might be a little corny for some, but I thought it was pretty sick.
I'm a slave for the music.
I'm a slave for the groove.
I'm a slave for the acid. I guess that makes me a raveaholic.
Raveaholic. Hopefully someone uses it. This one I recorded my voice and put it on AI because it sounds so much better. And I feel like someone's more likely to use it with the tone of this voice than my chunty Mexican voice.
Rock steady. Bring the dance.
Y'all ready?
I just want.
That's also me. Female it.
I just wanna get fucked up. Let me feel the bass run through my body all night. I just wanna get fucked up.
I hope you do too, man.
Let the bass run like a motherfucking devil, baby.
Baby, don't stop the party now. Don't stop the party, baby.
You can hear the noise in the back.
Take the pill, set me free. Let the music be my remedy. Spinning fast, can't stand still. I'm addicted to the thrill.
We also have synth loops, and again, I went crazy with this pack because I was like, I'm gonna have these kind of synth loops and these kind of synth loops. So I decided to just organize them in this format for you guys. Some of them will have the MIDI here. But again, they're just meant there if they can fill an idea up or to start a song too. I like this one for the breaks. This part here. I get so emotional, bro. I'd also made a couple of hard synths. Back to the big room, man. My mom said, when would big room come in handy? Well, there you go. Now tell me if you guys prefer reverb and delay with your samples or not. That's something I've been curious about. And as you can tell, I am conflicted because some of them I will put reverb and delay, but some of them I'm like, I don't know, man. It just feels like it's better if you guys do it because I feel like it all depends on the song, but also when you put reverb and delay in a sample, and you pitch it up and down, it can mess with it. But some people that are reggaeton and hip-hop producers will you still use it and say it's part of the, you know, makes it less perfect, which some people like. So who knows? But let me know. I'm curious. And then they also made these groove face ones, which I feel are just more like rave stabs. It's the Moog Matriarch. So again, these are all just for ideas. Like if you like it, start a song with it. Rave stabs that I made myself. Again, I didn't really sample these out. You know, I was curious if I can make them with the analog synths. And obviously, I think these sound dope. Like I said, if you want more of the traditional rave stabs, usually on Splice you can find them, or you can get like a rave generator. But I wanted to supply new rave stabs no one has used. So again, I used some of my methods, which I've made videos about, in order to make them. From there, there's going to be uplifters. From their uplifters, of course. Decided to get a little crazy with some of them. Main reason is I feel like many people already have their staple uplifters, so if they like the sound of one of these, then by all means. Some of them are going to be crazy, crazy. This one's a key for sure. Retro uplifter. I was watching Dune 2, I think that's what it was, man. That's what it was. I was watching Dune 2. And then we got the nice stab echo. Down sweeps, these are all noise based. And then we also have the downlifter section to make sure that you guys can drag and drop, and maybe some few EQ changes depending on the kind of bass you use. So I tried my best just to get them. Here we have this one and this one. Two versions of this noise one. This noise one's very interesting, and it's the one I used to do the hard groove thing because, I mean, I feel like you need a more aggressive kick, right? But again, the ones I can vouch for are more of the classic 9090 clicky ones. Those work really good, and of course there's a fat analog one there. Claps. Okay. Of course, you know, you have your open hats. Noise based. And then the idea of open hats is always to grab like a cymbal, like a real like open hat, and then run like a down sampler on it. So finding recordings that you can use or buy them as well are gonna be like cool. But the whistles is where it's at. Where's the other whistle? The coach whistle. That's my favorite one to use. Okay, and of course, you know, you got a close hats, etc. From there, we're gonna have the top loop section. So I always ask people for help on these. So a lot of these are gonna be based more for like heartstring stuff, some Marlon Hoffstadt. I also told them make some groove stuff, so some of them are gonna be intense. So again, this is where I mean like the pack is kind of a little all over the place, the sample pack. But the way I see it, you know, it's there because you never know when you might need something. You know, and I don't want to just be putting a bunch of 909 drum loops as well. So I want to put effort into making sure they sound good for you guys. You have a little bit of everything because, again, you never know what you're going to need. again. One more like that. We got the crazy one. Okay, now I like the rolling one. Saturate the crap out of them and get that. Rides, percussion loops. Again, the idea of these is more like, I already know many people know how to program the open hat and clap, etc. So it just gives you something that's not so filled, like a top loop that you can just grab from or drop. And if it works, it works. And if not, you can like cut it up and use it individually, right? I like that one. I get right now in a card, but you can see how I use it to make a Latin house beat. These are insane. Get a splice vocal. A lot of these are from like the analog synths I have in the studio. I love that. This is the Udo 6. Sounds so nice. Love that ending on it. So a lot of these, you know, I decided to make them obviously a little more like add my flair to it, like what I like. You know, you can always find like the basic stuff, right? Like chords and stuff. So let's spice it up and add something tasteful that maybe they can't get from somewhere else, because it's my taste, right? That I'm giving hopefully to you guys, and you guys can make dope music with it. I mean, that's what I hope, you know, like. I like this one. This is my favorite one. I made a sick song with this and I didn't save it because I was going to put it for the demo. But with an offbeat bass, good vocal, and some good drums, I think that's a fucking hit, bro. Again, with some of these, what you can do as well is just sample it out, right? And make your chord stop. Also run like the filter, like so. Envelope. This shit sounds clean, you know. This one's so fucking fat. I just wanna party all night long. Reese. Some Reese loops, which again you can use to start a song. For these, I looked up popular chord progressions, and I was like, I'm gonna put them in the pack. And I think my favorite one is this one, which is fairly long. Suppose you guys like the favorite chord progression of someone on Reddit, and I tried it out, and it's very emotional. I don't know if it's gonna work. It's so much sounds good though. Basses. The beat section. So a lot of these bass loops are gonna have ideas. The idea of it is I feel like people, if they want to sample out the one shot, they can, just like this, easily. But there's gonna be some ideas there to be used. I think next time I make a pack, I'm gonna start to do like the bass loop with like the chord loop and the ARP loop and stuff and a melody. That way people can just use as they please. I think that would be better for the next ones, but for now, this is how I executed it. Again, just drag and drop. And then we have some groovy basses, which are more like, which again, I got inspired by some of the groove stuff people are doing, which is essentially sped up with like some vocals and rave stabs. And that is Papi Trance Volume 2, guys. Every time I start a new pack, I always make a promise to you guys of trying my best to give you guys some of the best sounds out there. And I hope I delivered with this pack as well. It took me about 2 to 3 months to do. Main reason is just that I was being a perfectionist with a lot of them, but I think it came out good. I cleaned up a lot of the bass loops so they sound as good as possible for you guys, so that way you don't have to struggle as much. For the presets, same thing. I did a bunch of quality runs on them, trying to get the reverb, the EQs right, just to make sure that you don't get something that's too messy. And again, I'm just trying my best here to help you guys make the music you want. I always thank you guys at the end of these videos for the support, because to this day, I'm still super grateful that you guys support my sound design work. And without you guys, of course, I'm nothing. And I hope that these sounds inspire you and provide you with stuff that you can make your next hit with. With that being said, thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys next time. As always, take care and Happy New Year.